The time of the New England Patriots dominating the league is very much over. And on paper, the Patriots are the worst team in their division. New England has a lot of questions and had a lot of needs at the upcoming draft. And in typical Bill Belichick fashion, the Patriots weren't very flashy, but they actually had a pretty good draft. The Patriots ended up trading back in the first round, but ultimately got one of the top cornerbacks to fall right into their lap at 17, Christian Gonzalez. Gonzalez was a stud at Oregon last season. He had 45 tackles, 7 pass breakups, and 3 interceptions en route to being named first team All Pac-12. Gonzalez was great in Eugene, but he only spent 1 season there. Before college, Christian Gonzalez was a beast at the Colony High School in Texas. He was a 4-star and the number 31 safety in the country. Gonzalez decided to commit to play at Purdue, but eventually enrolled at Colorado. He switched to playing full-time cornerback and started in every game as a true freshman. He had 25 tackles and 5 passes defended. Then, as a sophomore in Boulder, Gonzalez recorded 53 tackles and 5 passes defended. Gonzalez comes from a very athletic family. His sister, Melissa Gonzalez, is a hurdler who has won a bunch of gold medals, mainly in South American competitions. Melissa Gonzalez is actually married to David Blau. If that name sounds familiar, it's because he's on the Cardinals and actually started in 5 games for the Lions in 2019, most notably on Thanksgiving Day, which was his first career start. The Patriots have a lot of needs on offense, so naturally, Bill Belichick used all of their day 1 and 2 picks at the draft on defense, starting with Keon White in the second. He was a beast last season at Georgia Tech. He used his COVID year to return and went on to be named 3rd team All-ACC after recording 54 tackles, 7.5 sacks, and 14 tackles for loss. That was his only good season in Atlanta. White spent the first 3 years of his collegiate career at Old Dominion and opted out of the 2020 season due to COVID. He ended up transferring to Georgia Tech, but missed the first 8 games of the 2021 season after he broke his ankle. Luckily for him, it all worked out, and now he's a pro. Then in the third, New England took Marte Mapu, who also spent 6 years in college, all at Sacramento State. He didn't really break out until 2021, his 5th year in college. He was 2nd team All Big Sky, and then Mapu opted to use his COVID season and went on to win Big Sky Defensive Player of the Year in 2022. Special teams was very clearly a priority for the Patriots, for some reason. I've never really seen this before, but New England drafted a kicker, punter, kick returner, and punt returner all in the same draft. Maryland's Chad Ryland went in the 4th round. He made 19 of 23 field goals in his 1 season in College Park. Michigan State punter Bryce Behringer went in the 5th. He was a consensus All-American last season. In the 6th round, the Patriots took Demario Douglas out of Liberty. He had almost 1,000 yards last season and is a pretty speedy guy. He's technically a wide receiver, but you can bet on him being taken primarily as a punt returner. Isaiah Bolden was the only HBCU player drafted after his time at Jackson State, and yes, he was coached by Deion Sanders. Bolden only started 1 year at cornerback, but led the FCS in kickoff return average in 2021. The Patriots also took Amir Speed in the 6th round. He did end up getting playtime at cornerback at Michigan State last season, but before that, he was a key special teamer at Georgia for 5 seasons. When you look at the Patriots roster, maybe the biggest hole is at wide receiver. New England didn't really address it much at the draft, but did take a wide receiver in the 6th round, Kayshon Boutte. His first season at LSU was actually his best. Jamar Chase opted out of the COVID season, so Boutte got a bigger role than expected. He ended up going for 735 yards and 5 touchdowns. In 2021, he only had 500 yards, but turned into a bigger touchdown threat with 9. Last season, Boutte set a career high in receptions with 48, but only had 500 yards and 2 touchdowns. I expected Boutte to go much higher than the 6th round, but expecting anything crazy from him as a rookie is pretty delusional. The New England wide receiver core is very suspect, and if the offense does have another down season, I wouldn't be shocked if that was the main culprit. The new number 1 is Juju Smith-Schuster, who has never truly performed well as a top wide receiver. The best year of his career was back in 2018 when he had 1,400 yards, but it came while Antonio Brown was dominating and occupying defenses. Last year, he broke 900 yards for the first time since 2018, but it came while defenses focused on Patrick Mahomes and his top top threat Travis Kelce. Juju ended up getting a 3-year, $33 million deal. That's exactly the same number that Jacoby Myers got from the Raiders. Now, he shouldn't be a 1, but Myers was used as it in New England. Now, defenses will have their hands full with Devontae Adams instead. Juju as a 1 is disappointing, but the roster gets really ugly past him. The Patriots traded for Devontae Parker before last season. He had just 500 yards in 2022. The wide receiver 3 appears to be Tyquan Thornton. He was a second-round pick last year and only had 247 yards as a rookie. Thornton didn't do much, but it's not out of the realm that he has some big breakout either. The Patriots did also sign Mike Gesicki to a 1-year, $4.5 million deal. He's a tight end technically, but I'd honestly consider him a wide receiver in a lot of ways. Now, there's no question that the Patriots should have made a bigger push to fix wide receiver. That being said, it was a very weak offseason for free agent wide receivers, and their best opportunity was going to be at the draft, and it's kind of hard to fault them for going with Christian Gonzalez. An outside cornerback was one of their biggest needs, and after he dropped, it was kind of a no-brainer. Plus, the Patriots were able to re-sign Jonathan Jones on a 2-year, $19 million deal. There was the potential of needing a safety too, but after New England re-signed Jabril Peppers to a 2-year, $9 million deal, that concern pretty much went away. Coming into the offseason, offensive tackle may have been the only need more important than wide receiver, and New England quickly figured that out by signing Riley Reiff to a 1-year, $5 million deal. Injuries have really derailed him in the past few seasons, but hopefully he can bring some stability to the Patriots' offensive line. In 2021, Trent Brown played in every game, but the tackle opposite of him was almost always in question. The Patriots started the season with Isaiah Wynn taking the snaps, then Marcus Cannon took over in Week 5, Yadni Kajus started for a few weeks starting in Week 9, before Connor McDermott took over the duties in Week 13 after the Patriots signed him off the Jets practice squad. As you can see, it was a mess, so the addition of Reiff is definitely needed. The defense really only has one weak area, inside linebacker, but that's one of the least valuable positions in football. On offense, wide receiver is a problem, and I guess we'll have to see if the offensive tackle is any better. But last year, the Patriots' bigger problem likely wasn't even a certain position group. It was coaching. In 2022, the Patriots' primary play caller was Matt Patricia. He was the Patriots' defensive coordinator for 6 seasons before he left to become the head coach of the Detroit Lions. By the way, that was a disaster. He was an offensive lineman when he played, but as a coach, he was really defense. He coached offensive line, but really nothing more. He really struggled calling plays for New England, and it played a big role in Mac Jones' struggles. Patricia is now a senior defensive assistant for the Eagles, and the Patriots do have an offensive coordinator, Bill O'Brien. He's been the offensive coordinator at Alabama for the last 2 years and has a ton of experience at the position. O'Brien was the Patriots offensive coordinator back in 2011 before he went on to become the head coach at Penn State and then jumped to the Texans, where he was the head coach for 7 seasons. He should immediately help the Patriots offense improve. Last year, the Patriots offense looked like it was being run by a 7-year-old playing Madden. Now, Bill O'Brien gets to take over, who ironically performed about as well as a 7-year-old playing Madden as the Texans general manager. I honestly still can't believe he didn't get a first rounder for DeAndre Hopkins. Now, I do think the Patriots will be better this season than last, but that won't matter much if the AFC East is as good as expected. The Bills have dominated the division, winning it for the past 3 seasons. The Dolphins are good, and the Jets just traded for Aaron Rodgers. New England's defense should be as good as always, and probably will be as long as Bill Belichick is coaching, but the offense is suspect. A lot of this season is going to come down to how the wide receivers perform and if Bill O'Brien can help Mac Jones return to his rookie season form. Otherwise, the Patriots are screwed.